I'm recording it, so you'll be fine. Okay, let's start. And by the way, it's the same as the previous one. It's just the next argument. It's the next argument that you disagree with. Now, I acknowledge that some of you out there don't have two arguments. You're going to write a slightly shorter paper. You're writing a 4-paragraph paper. You found one argument for and one argument against. Fine. You're not going to get full credit. You'll pass. It'll be fine. But I asked you to find 2 reasons for and 2 reasons against. Question? No, it could be 1 versus 2, or 2 versus 1, or 2 versus 2. All is okay. So I guess I should be able to, I'll gladly talk you through this, but I should be able to say to you, look at the paragraph you just wrote and then do it again, only for the next argument. The next argument for the side you disagree with. So again, we're paying attention to this column. So let's pretend I'm writing a paper on who the better team is between the Vikings and Packers. And I happen to have the opinion that the Packers are the better team. I spent the second paragraph arguing that some people think the Vikings are the better team because of superior facilities. And now I'm going to acknowledge the second argument of Vikings fans. Some people mistakenly believe the Vikings are the better team because they've had more recent draft success. And then I find some coach who quotes and says, since 1990, we've had way better draft success than the Packers. And then I find evidence, specific players, that the Vikings have drafted, blah, blah, blah. But then I refute it. Right? That's what you're doing. So you've got to, right now, find the article summary for the second argument, the side you don't agree with. Can you find that article summary? Supposedly all of you have it readily available. Okay, so let's attack. Please, this should say the second. The second reason some people claim, whatever it is they're claiming, is whatever it is that they're claiming is true. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Do you know what you're doing? Do you promise? You promise you know what you're doing? Okay. You can't lie because this is on tape.
Actually, can I ask a question?
You just did.
Can I compare? Can I have to use an example? Can I compare milk to surrogacy?
Milk?
Yeah.
Why not? Sure. I think that's a great idea. Fine. Anybody more time? Where have you been? Okay. This is the quote. Oh yeah, higher primary. No, this is the side you disagree with. You think that you should have conceal and carry. Well, that quote was arguing that states that have, I can't remember what states that do not allow conceal and carry have a lower primary. States that have more relaxed criteria for long residence carry have a higher primary. Oh yeah, that you don't agree with that. So your first sentence of this paragraph is going to say, the second reason some people claim that people should not be able to conceal and carry, is that States that allow conceal and carry have a higher crime rate. Right? That's exactly what it's saying. States that allow you to carry a gun, conceal and carry, have a higher crime rate. So why would we allow it? Now you're gonna have to answer that. You're gonna have to answer that challenge somehow. You're gonna have to refute that argument. How are you gonna refute it? Yeah, we gotta think about that. We gotta think about that. Okay. Now, the green part is context. This is the part where you answer, why is this important? Why does this matter? Right? And you can start the sentence this way. This is important because. This is important because. Now answer it. Why does it matter? Don't be afraid to be slightly repetitive, like you did this in the previous paragraph. In fact, you even have permission. I don't care. Go ahead. Copy this sentence from the previous paragraph. Go ahead. But if you are good at this writing thing, then maybe come up with maybe another reason why this matters. Why does it matter? Like for example, let's go back to my paper that I'm writing about the Vikings Packers. My second sentence, my context sentence might go like this. This matters because better drafts equals more wins. Sorry? I'm right here. I'm at the green part. I'm at sentence number 2. We're on paragraph 3, sentence 2. Again, don't worry about hitting the home run here. This is important because you have permission to be slightly repetitive. That's why. And now, we need your article summary. We need access to your article summary. The speaker is number 4, the credibility is number 5, the quote you use is number 8, and the article number is number 2. 4, 5, 8, 2. Everyone. 4, 5, 8, 2. 4, 5, 8. You want to sing again? 4, 5, 8, 2. Go.
Wait, what are those numbers for?
Article summaries. Did you do these?
Oh, those are the numbers you want us
Yeah.
to use? Okay, 4,
Right.
5, 8.
4 is the author, 5 is the credibility, 8 is the quote you're going to actually use, and then 2 is the footnote. Right? Bill Thompson, the vice president of Viking operations, said, we've had a better draft than the Packers for the last 15 years. Article number 3. There, you did. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Make your life easy. Third paragraph. The second reason some people, you don't need the word third paragraph. You're going to get rid of that.
I don't.
Okay. Second reason some people claim cities should open safe injection sites for heroin addicts is because when sites are open, crime rates are lower. Very good. Yeah, that's. Now you disagree with this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to add. Some people think, oh, you got it. Yeah, that's fine. Very good. That's a perfect sentence. Now let's just say this is important because lower crime rates means safer cities.
Say that after that sentence?
Yes. New sentence. This is important because lower crime rates means safer cities. Here. And now 4, 5, 8, 2.
So, what they, I don't think.
States allow concealed carry at a higher crime rate.
Right.
Is that what this?
I think that's what it's saying. Right?
That's the context that states have a more
That's the
relaxed criteria for law enforcement. Relaxed, so like,
Relax means allow.
so you just let it happen without like any rules about it, right?
And higher crime.
Okay, and then how's that important?
Well, I would say this is important because this means that the more guns that are out there, the higher the crime rate. Supposedly, right? You can say it.
I have a problem. I couldn't find my author for my article, so.
Yeah, sometimes if there's no author, then you just say that the newspaper itself said. The Washington Post says, fine, great. Sometimes there's no author, it's weird. Okay, I'm going to assume that you're with me. The next thing you need to do is explain that quote in your own words. What he's saying is, clearly he means that. Smith is trying to say that, and then you just interpret it. But don't use the words that are in the quote. I can read the quote. What does it mean? Little Cindy Lou Who has just walked in the door, and you read her the quote, and she says, what does that mean? Tell her what it means. Remember, she didn't understand the quote, so you can't use those words. Use different words. This means that, finish that sentence. That's the explain quote in own words.
Was it footnote? Yeah.
Which article? Was this the first one, second one, third one?
So my third paragraph.
Yeah, no, which article summary was this referred to?
Oh, so number 9.
Number two. Article.
That's just a footnote?
Yeah. It's so that I can go, because right, you all submitted these to me. I'm gonna read your paper and I say, oh, where do you get this quote? Oh, from a second article summary. Then I'm gonna go to your second article summary and say, oh, it's from the Washington Post. Got it.
So what sentence do you ever quote?
Number 8.
No, like what number sentence?
Oh, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Third sentence. So you have your intro, then you have your context sentence. Now you're quoting. And then you explain the quote in your own words. This means that. And now, I'm going to assume that you're somewhere near this. Now you have to say that, but this is wrong, or this isn't quite right, or however this logic is flawed, or however there's something that's more compelling. You got to say, you don't agree with this. So add that sentence. Whether it's this is wrong, or this isn't quite right, or this is somewhat inaccurate, or there's more convincing evidence for that the opposite is true. You have to reject this. You're rejecting this argument. You got to tell me that. Right? Again, my Viking Packer thing, it's kind of easy to understand, right? Some people believe the Vikings are the better team because they've had better drafts. So I quote from this Viking guy, and I explain that this means that they've had more success, and then I have this sentence. However, this is wrong. And then I, well, for example, so then I find a draft pick or two from the Packers that have proven to be very good players recently. See? The Vikings have not had the better draft recently. Okay. That's what you're doing. You got to say, this is wrong. And then you got to prove it's wrong. How are you going to do it? How are you going to reject the argument that has just been made? Now I have a suggestion. The suggestion is, remember, I had you find 2 examples. Number 10 says specific example. Number 11 says second specific example. So this is where you could go to one of the article summaries for the side you agree with, find the second example for that argument, and say, and use it here. Right? However, it's wrong. The reason it's wrong is because here's an example of the opposite side being true. You could do it that way. There are other options. You could just plain point out the illogic of the argument. This is wrong. Just explain to me why it's wrong. Just using logic. Just explain why it's wrong. I don't hear any typing at all. Oh, there we go. High safety. Okay. I mean, no typing means either you are completely lost or you got a piece of cake and you're done already. Or you're reading or something like that. So, second reason people think cities should be able to safe injection checks for inherent access because the sites are open, crime is lower. This is important because lower crime rates mean safer cities. Other than says. He's the author of the Boston Globe. I think he's an author for, not of. He doesn't write the Boston Globe. For. And then you underline Boston Globe. Underline your source, right? You gotta underline your source. It's a newspaper, underline the name of the newspaper.
On our article summary?
Who cares about that or something on your paper? Here we go. Okay, now, what does he mean? Explain what it means. Explain what it means. Read me that quote. Pretend that's. Yeah, very good. Excellent. Yeah, copy and paste. You bet.
So I'll put out his name and like,
Yes. I forgot, in your article summary, you've already explained what the quote means. That's number 9. What the quote is supporting. So copy and paste.
I will use 2 different arguments from the same article.
Great. Yeah, definitely. So for you, are you saying that the quote you're using in the third paragraph is the same as the previous paragraph?
No. 2 different quotes, same article, about the same reason, like same site.
Are you putting it in 2 different paragraphs?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yep, sorry, that's perfect. Yep. All I'm saying is in the third paragraph, you don't need to tell me who he writes for again. Yeah, it's like, I got it. You told me that already. Okay, very good. Right now, what you're doing is explaining the code in your own words and then rejecting it. Somehow you're rejecting it, and that could be with an example that you found or simply pointing out the illogic of the argument, which is fine. I always think using examples is a good way to go with the magic words, for example. So you can say, however, this is wrong, and then explain why it's wrong and say, for example. So again, the Packer Viking thing. The Viking argument that they have better picks is wrong. The Packers have had phenomenal picks. And then I come up with some examples. There, I've just proven the argument wrong. And then last thing is you gotta wrap this thing up. So once again, what you do is you wrap it up. You say, because of the mistaken belief that the Vikings have had better draft picks, comma, some people mistakenly believe that the Vikings are the better team. Right? Because of what people are arguing in the paragraph, they mistakenly believe what the paper is about. Okay. You're here till 10:30, so you have about 3 minutes. Yes,
Are we done for the day?
we are done for the day.
So how many-
I'm assuming when you walk in the door tomorrow, you're done with 3 paragraphs. Okay. I will be right there, Mayor.